Welcome to Deep Thought, Worlds Rise. Now, in my last episode, I talked about some of these worlds out here that might die, need to die, especially the dysfunctional ones. But just as a world dies, another one rises. Like one I was about to get into was the whole marijuana industry and stuff. That's a whole world rising there. Remember, for decades, marijuana use was illegal. Marijuana use was illegal in most states. It's actually technically still illegal in most states. Only a few states have actually legalized it. And technically, even in those states that legalized it, it's still illegal at the federal level. Ain't that an irony? But they probably looking the other way because it's $1 billion industry. You know, when you getting some taxes from it, it's like, hey, I can see the federal person. Hey, that's wrong. You're not supposed. This the law say. Oh, wait, how much y'all paying in taxes? All right, y'all just stop doing that. Oh, man. I'm telling you, y'all know I go on tangents. Any vice that brings money, people look the other way. Like gambling, come on now. Yeah, it's only a matter of time before they legalize prostitution. It's only a matter of time. But, no, in the... Like, if you look at the marijuana industry, though, $1 billion industry, it used to be, you know, you just smoke it in your college dorm room or your privacy of your own home. You know, all you needed was a wet towel to cover up the door so the smoke wouldn't get out. But depending on the state, you can do that publicly. But it's actually creating a new mindset. It's creating a new world because now you can, you got... Because it's legal now in many states, either recreational or medical, you can use other products from it. So it's starting to create a lifestyle, a public lifestyle. I mean, depending on the state, you can go to a bar and just sit there and smoke to your heart's delight. And I think they got a bunch of products. That's one thing. I was looking into it, but I've never had an interest in like marijuana. But I'm like, man, there's a lot of products. But because of those products, and people using that products, that's actually creating a world. That world is rising because now that people in certain places can be open with it. All right, so what they're gonna do? They'll start dealing with other people open with it as well. They're gonna have a certain mindset, and you know they even maybe even wear clothes. I mean, you got a whole economy just off that little funny looking, glorified weed. Seriously, think about it. Just look at a marijuana plate. Look like a damn glorified weed. You know, I actually had a big ass weed growing a garden I had. I was like, what the hell is that? I showed it to some actual gardeners and stuff. They say it's just a weed, right? But anyway, that thing looked like a weed. But you got a world growing up around it, like any activity or something. I mean, you know, it's a world around CrossFit. You know, CrossFit wasn't even a thing many years ago. Now it's like you got a whole subculture going around it. But that world is rising. Like everything is going to rise. Like I said, once you get, all you need is something that people are interested in. You know, a shared interest in something. And then a critical mass of people to not only engage in activities, but maybe engage in secondary and tertiary activities associated with the main activity. You know, it's just like skateboarders. You know, you got a whole clothing industry. Of course, you need actual physical skateboards. A whole lot of secondary products created just because some people like skateboarding. You know, or line dancing or something. You know, people gotta have certain clothes or certain look to really line dance and get into it. Then, somebody making money off of it. This sounded a lot like my business channel. And let me go on one of my tangents again. Everything's holistic. Like when people really want to make money, they look at these trends. They look at what people getting into, what activities they're getting into, and then they figuring out, okay, what products do they need in order to perform this activity or live that certain lifestyle. But whatever the case, worlds rise. It could be anything, and that's always going to happen. That's always going to happen. Depending on how people look at things, depending on a critical mass of people, and especially with the internet now, because now people of a like mind can run into each other. And you know what? All these worlds aren't always good either. Just like you got these dysfunctional ones that need to die, you got some like negative ones rising. Now, since I try to keep trouble off this channel, I'm not gonna mention some of them, but you look at it and it's like, well, wait a minute. There's one in particular, and I'll let somebody try to guess at it. I'm not going to confirm or deny, but because of the internet, you have certain dysfunctional individuals able to interact with each other, and because they have others to interact with, they probably not getting the help they should get. And one I will mention though, you actually have like a world where like women just embrace anorexia, like dying. I mean, not dying, but being on those extreme diets, not really eating anything. Really, it's those are ones that somebody might need some help, but now they got somebody supporting them in a possible dysfunction. And there's plenty more where that come from. Sorry, I kind of faded away there a second. Yeah, I'm kind of breaking out with some stuff. Speaking of breaking out with some stuff, I mean, that's a world too. If people eat certain foods or something, and they can rise. It's like now we got this thing with the impossible burgers. These plant-based burgers. I'm awaiting a day where you get a whole lifestyle and mindset around a fast food vegan restaurant. That would create something. That would start shifting some things. Because right now, most of the vegan restaurants out now in that fast food, they got to take a time, because even the vegan ones, they got to cook their stuff a little bit. But it could be the day when somebody say, hey, you know what, we don't want to eat these beefs anymore. And actually, like beef burgers or something anymore. Actually, that would like affect a particular world, that whole industry. That's a world. So it's deep in many ways. I mean, I'm quite sure, this sector of YouTube is a world. This sector of YouTube is a world. It was a world that started to rise, with the advent of video sharing. So, I mean, you got so much. And it's literally thousands. I don't know if I would use the word millions, but thousands. Because every idea, every thought, every way of perceiving the world, people immediately look for somebody who relates to that same perception. They immediately look for it. They're like, well, who else thinks like this? Who else do it, And of course, you can meet meet them online, meet them in the real world, join a Facebook group. It's an incredible thing, isn't it? It's a fascinating thing. Some people might be listening to it and say, I want to create a world. My thing is looking at red trucks. And actually, hold up, there's a whole world now. This ain't a world that's risen, but I say once or twice a year, there's a train show that comes near me, and my son loves trains. My son loves trains. I might just get him I've gotten him train sets before. He don't take care of them, but he still loves them though. And I'm like, that's a world in itself. So any interest, anything. So anyway. Y'all know what to do. And y'all know how I do. Always thinking about something. So, one thing, think about it. Think about what world you're in. Think about what your interests are and who else shares those interests. That's a world. In fact, some people can be in several worlds at once. There's actually a deeper meaning in what I just said. So anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and many blessings.